Today, everyone is a product and everyone needs marketing to succeed. So let's talk about it right now on Marketing Unfiltered with award-winning creative expert Wendi Cooper and her co-host John Hamilton.
So, good evening, everybody. Unfortunately, my co-host John Hamilton isn't here tonight, but welcome to C-Spot Talk Marketing Unfiltered. This is me, Wendi, and thanks for listening. Jarv.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to talk to you about this. For those of you that don't know Jarvis is, as Rebecca Drew will always say something about how strappingly handsome and sexy he is, okay? But he's a really gorgeous black man, all right? I have to say that because I need to talk about the route I took to get here tonight and how I just need to ask you. You don't live in that area. You live in the valley, right? But, I mean, I took Western from over by the Forum, and I was on the surface streets driving through probably parts of town the white Prius with the blonde hair should not have been driving through. And, Exposition and Western and Florence. And I've driven there before. I mean, right. But tonight it was, I just wasn't sure of my way because I got off on Prairie. I didn't want to hassle the freeway. And I found myself, you know how you're not supposed to make a turn in a wrong neighborhood. You could, easily find yourself in the wrong neighborhood, right? If you don't know where you're from. But was I just imagining that I should feel uncomfortable? What do you think?
It depends. What time was it?
It was like 6.
I mean, it depends. I was just.
It wasn't nighttime.
It wasn't nighttime.
It was on the way here, so it was daytime.
But why did you feel that way? What?
Because it's just growing up in LA, you just know that, it's not my hood. It's not my hood. It's race out of place. I am in a place where I'm either looking for drugs or because it's not my, you feel that way. We all feel that way. And well, when you're a woman and you're vulnerable and you're by yourself. Right. I'm obviously the white chick in the Prius at the stoplight.
What I'm asking is because were people like staring at you, looking at you? Like, so there was just.
No, I wasn't looking to see if they were.
Right. But you didn't feel, you didn't feel someone staring or like, what is she doing here?
When I got off on Prairie, I thought to myself, I literally thought this to myself. I'm going to introduce you in 1 second.
Should I say anything?
Okay, wait a second. I literally thought to myself, I'm only going this route because I posted on Facebook about the gangs being all coming to a truce here in Los Angeles, which is awesome.
Yes.
But
that's
it was
awesome.
It was held at the Church of Scientology. Did anybody else find that
hold on.
slightly odd?
Ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Buonantony is finally here in studio with us. So we can all discuss this. Can we discuss this? Because
why not?
I felt guilty, but I felt scared because I did make a wrong turn.
Yeah, but why did you feel scared?
I guess it's just would you feel scared?
I know what you're talking about over by the Forum.
More deeper than the Forum.
Yeah,
though.
I've been over
deeper
in
than
that
the
area.
Forum.
I've been over that area after shows, like at night, and I felt uncomfortable before but that was because there were like literally like sketchy looking people like coming up to my car and knocking on my window when
at
I was
night.
trying to get gas, and I was like, oh my God, am I about to be like?
Yeah, I think I'm just conscious of my boundaries. I just do. Yeah. I wasn't not that.
But things can happen anywhere. Like I generally feel,
and that's what I kept saying to myself.
I generally feel safe, but where I live in Hollywood, like I live right across from like the Rock and Ralph's on Sunset,
Yeah.
And so it's a weird thing there because there's a lot of like nice condos and whatnot, but also given the Ralph's and the liquor store and the strip club across the street, there's also a lot
and it's so right across.
There's also
you ever
a
go
lot
to
of
Starbucks across the street from here in the studio?
There's people there that are hanging out in the corner looking for drugs. There's a lot of homeless people. Plenty of homeless people are super nice and like I have no problem with that, but at the same time, I've had a knife pulled on me there. We've had people break into just last week. The fire alarm was pulled in our building, And it was really kind of funny because everyone in LA is like, is this real? Like, should we get
up?
And we waited like a good 15.
Is that really an earthquake?
Like a good 15 or 20 minutes, and we kept doing our work. And then I was like, I had 2 interns at the house. I was like, maybe we should go. I don't want any like issues if something really is going down in the building. And because I looked out my door and like the emergency doors had shut and I didn't hear anyone else. I'm like, oh shit, maybe we were supposed to leave. So we left and we go outside and everyone's like with their dogs and their laptops. And I'm like, oh, this is real. But it turned out that someone had like this woman who unfortunately was homeless had broken into the building or followed someone into the building, pulled the fire alarm, and then was robbing the units because people went outside and didn't lock their door.
Oh my God.
And I had to give that some props though, because that took some thought. That was kind of smart.
Oh my God. You know, I think while you were talking,
so you never know. Things can happen anywhere, you know?
Things can happen anywhere. And I am not a racist person whatsoever. I just know when I maybe am not where I should be. That's all. It's like, I'm not stupid. You know, I think I was going to get out at the stoplight. And, you know, and what if I got a flat tire or something? I mean, I'm in a very vulnerable situation. You have to admit.
Yeah, I admit. And then as a woman, you have to be careful of your surroundings. But like she said, it can happen anywhere. But that would be the opposite of me going into Beverly Hills. I mean, you know, and
well, I don't
not you, because
I don't think you're saying it's a necessarily race issue. I mean, maybe I'm misinterpreting, but
it would be like you coming in El Segundo if you want to know the truth.
An area issue, because there's areas of downtown that are like super nice now with high-end restaurants, and then you go around the corner and it's, you know, Night of the Living Dead, addicts in Tent City, and like that's an unfortunate situation. But whether those people are of any race, I feel comfortable at night, you know, sometimes downtown.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, and I think my editor Johnny, who's Hispanic, he's married to a black woman, Rika. But once he said to me, I was leaving we edit over here off of Sunset and whatever in Los Feliz, right? So one night, I got a little stoned at his place, and I didn't pay attention to where I was going. And I just kept going down Vermont. I said, oh, Vermont ends up at the ocean. I remember seeing it there, right? Like, seriously, in Harbor City, Vermont ends up in Harbor City, and that's where my Kaiser is. So I said, I'm just going to take Vermont all the way home. I'm not going to get on the freeway. And Johnny when he found out that I did that, I was never so scared in my life because it was nighttime. And I was stoned. And I was scared. And then Johnny said to me, Cooper, what are you doing? You know, you're not supposed to go like past Wilshire.
More because you're a woman at night alone.
So I guess that's inbred in my head, but nothing. Okay, so we'll get on with it. That was an experience for me on my way in tonight. It was interesting that I thought I found an awesome route, and then I realized that it wasn't so awesome.
You know what I find? This is like going to be critical of women right now, because I love women, but most women have terrible sense of direction. I have always had a really.
Is that what's wrong with Siri?
No, but like I barely use maps. I was like, I have such a good sense of direction, and maybe because when I first moved here too, like I did production and there was no, you know, iPhones. I had a
you had a Thomas guide,
you know, and so I can literally pretty much find my way anywhere. Multiple routes in this city. I've also been here 12 years, but I have friends that have been here like 5 years, and they're like,
they won't get off the freeway.
I'd be like, oh, we're heading towards Santa Monica, and they'll be like, which way am I going? I'm like, what do you mean?
No, I grew up here, so you know, mountains,
toward the ocean. You're going west.
Yeah, you can you know by looking in your surroundings. Now, put me in Florida where it's all flat, or someplace where there is no mountains. There's no nothing like that. It's like that's when I'm like, okay, up, down, right, left. North, south, what? Where am I going?
Speaking of the news you just mentioned, I mean, it's pretty cool that there was that, you know, or supposed peace decision with the gangs here in LA.
Yeah,
and
it was really nice.
It was spearheaded by the Game and Snoop Dogg and people from the entertainment industry. And I thought that was really cool. I read the story. It's pretty impressive to see something like that happen. And they've done a couple of events so far, and they have like a planning event, so it seems like it's something that's going to be part of like an ongoing.
Well, you know what happened also is
work toward community.
Those frickin' crooks that have been in the Los Angeles Police Department for so long are finally going to frickin' jail. You know, sorry, but it's true.
You know what's funny though? I don't know why. Yeah. I mean, I'm not, you know, I don't know anything about Scientology, just what you hear. But I did think it was odd that was the setting.
Like, the venue probably.
Yeah, the venue was weird. I was like, that's so random. Like, why were they at the church?
You're the only one that noticed that.
That's the first thing I noticed. It was like, the headlines were like,
Snoop Dogg was a Scientologist?
Like, it was like, LA gangs make peace at the Church of Scientology. I was like, what? I was like, did they put two headlines together?
You're so funny.
It's
so what's
weird.
going on with you?
What's
you
going
know,
on?
everybody. So Jennifer has PressPassLA.com. What do we want to talk about first? Because there's so many things that you and I
I'm
can
pretty tired because I
talk
spent
about.
all day talking to handsome men. It was really
I
exhausting.
know, Harry Connick Jr. So so if you're anybody listening, if you can open up another browser or wherever you're listening or whatever, and you can go to PressPassLA.com, and I think that Jarvis is going to try to pull up the website so that we can make reference to it. But you had a really busy day, and let's talk about it.
Well, so PressPassLA.com, we cover entertainment news. We do cover a lot of celebrity news, but we don't do any gossip. And there is celebrity news that's not gossip. So we do a lot of like philanthropy and community. So we, would cover that story today as well. And so, when you go to the site right now, I think the most recent thing is from a day or two ago, and it's we did a Paley Fest event with.
Where does Jarvis go?
The cast of Ray Donovan. He was on the homepage.
Ray Donovan's
so that was really cool. But today, it's not up yet because I literally just drove from NBC to here, like from the press this day. But we were at the NBC Universal. Actually, all the studios this week is the TCAs. So what they do is they promote all of the upcoming shows for late,
what does TCA
late
stand
summer.
for?
And I knew you were going to ask me that. It's like television something. Basically, what it means is we're going to demo all of our shows for the late summer fall. And so, like NBC, ABC, Fox.
Is it like the upfronts? What's it for?
So it's for the press. So what they do is, they send out screeners usually the week before of the premiere episodes of all the new shows.
Oh my God, do you get those?
We do. We get them.
I want to do what you guys do.
And have a movie
No,
night?
I just need to find a new career.
And then so what they do is they have.
But yes, I'll come over and watch.
All right. They have the press days of today from like 9 to 6. They bring the cast of all the shows through on a giant red carpet, and we interview everyone. So it's a long day. It's exciting, but it's like 8 hours of straight.
So you're
interviews.
you're on the red carpet for 8 hours.
Yes.
You're literally there.
So I got there at 9 and I left there at 6:30 and came right here.
You're kidding me.
No,
do you want me to take you to have sushi at Sugarfish after?
Maybe, but it was really fun. I got to interview Harry Connick Jr. So that if you
that's
already up. Jennifer Hudson, I think you're putting up right now. So
he's actually grabbing them.
Yeah,
I
on
think,
our social media, which is just at PressPassLA. So some of those pictures and little videos are live.
Jarvis, just so we know, if anybody's watching,
If
the one that
anybody's
we're
watching,
looking,
people are watching.
well, they are. Well, they watch on YouTube. Also, so I always never mind. Shut up. So which one am I going to make reference to here? That's the one that people are seeing now.
Oh, so that is the cast of Hairspray Live.
Yeah,
so
that's us. No.
the cast of Hairspray Live. So Kristen Chenoweth, Broadway star. I'm like
I don't have my glasses, so I can't
which is
see.
really sad. I was just on the red carpet, and I'm like, oh, it's Derek Huff from Dancing with the Stars and Harvey Fierstein, who obviously everybody knows from Broadway, and he's hilarious with his raspy voice and his comedy. They were.
Oh yeah,
and Jennifer Hudson was also in Hairspray Live, but she wasn't in that group shot. We did a single shot with her.
So Hairspray Live is what? It's
so
live,
it's,
or
you know,
it's...
so you know how they've been doing like the Broadway play, like the play Hairspray, but they've been doing live shows for TV. Like I think they just did that.
God. Is that going to do?
Like,
oh my
Wizard
God!
of
They
Oz,
did
and
sound of Jesus. Shut up, music.
They did that Grease. They did that Grease live, which Derek's sister
and Peter Pan.
So they're going to be
Didn't
doing
they do Peter
Hairspray
Pan
live.
Didn't they do Peter Pan?
I gotta admit, I don't really like.
I don't like them at
them.
all. I think they're horrible.
I just think that personally, Broadway shows like is meant to be seen in.
Oh my
not on
God.
TV, like at the
I couldn't
theater.
watch. There was so much hype with what's her name.
I can promise you I did not say that to them today.
No.
People are excited.
Well, hopefully it's Jennifer Hudson and it's Kristen.
It's Kristen Chenoweth and Jennifer Hudson.
Right.
Like,
that should be better than the other one was.
I really disliked the one that just was out, the Wizard of Oz-esque one. It was.
I didn't see that
like
one.
a
I saw the one with
version
the
of
girl that won
Oz.
American Idol or whatever.
Was that Grease Live, that one?
No, it was The Sound of Music.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
Who wants to watch The Sound of Music?
I like musicals.
It's 2016.
If I see musicals, I like to see them at the theater. I don't personally like to see
Go
them
see Hamilton
on TV. I haven't seen it.
I want to see Hamilton.
It's coming. It's coming to the Contagious, but not until 2017. But they just announced it.
Oh my God! Can we buy tickets?
They're not on sale yet, but we're going. Yes, we're going.
Do you want to go someplace next on August 17th? My girlfriend Ariana Savalas she has a show in Burbank at the Hotel Cafe.
She's
awesome.
I'll
She's
say yes,
awesome.
but then I have to look at my planner.
Okay.
I love the Hotel Cafe.
She's a jazz singer. She's Telly Savalas' daughter.
Well,
so my friend Julie is, well, anyway, Ariana's been on the show a million times, but she's awesome. And she's just doing a one-night show on August 17th.
Hotel Cafe never puts up like bad musicians. Like I've never
She's
seen
awesome.
a bad musician there.
She's awesome. So I have extra tickets if you'd like to come.
Okay.
That's August 17th. Hotel Cafe. I think they're in Burbank, or they're over there by Universal Studios, right on
right
Cahuenga.
yeah, on Cahuenga. But before you go over the hill,
Is it
on the Hollywood side.
Is it the same place that used to be like a rock and roll-ish kind of bar?
I mean, since I've been here 12 years and it's been Hotel Cafe the whole time, as far as I know. But it's right across from like where all those restaurants are.
Yeah,
and by Piano Bar and over there.
Exactly.
I love Piano
Exactly.
Bar.
I think yeah, Piano
for
Bar
live
is
music.
cool too. Yeah. Yeah, I was in there one night and somebody really famous came in and played, and it was like I was sitting at the bar and I can't remember who it was, but it was like, oh God, it's happening! It's happening!
That's the one thing I'll say about like living in Los Angeles. There's always good live music or comedy or something that you can see. Like I was just talking to the Lyft driver. I took a Lyft here and there's no parking, so I was like, I'm gonna Lyft over, and we were just talking. I've been here, so this Friday I'll have been here 12 years. And my site will be live on the air for 5 years, which is like it's a big day this Friday. And he was saying he's been here 11 years, and I rarely meet anyone who's stayed here as long as I have. I usually meet people and they're like, I've been here forever. I've been here like 3 years. And I'm like,
really?
You're new.
I've been here forever. I went to elementary school.
If you're from here. But a lot of people that like transplant here, I guess, don't stay.
Yeah. Well, you can't stay. And a lot of people that are actually from here have left here.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends. One went back to Boston. Another one went to Florida because she didn't want to pay all the tax that she had to pay, living in California and the high rent. And I mean, people look at me and read my lips, okay? It is not easy living in LA. It is not easy.
Tough. It's a struggle.
Very expensive.
But if you make
it, not like New York. It's not like New York, but it's expensive.
I think too, like the first year you live here, for me anyway, and a lot of people I know, I hated it the first year because you miss too many people. You miss your friends.
Where are you from? New Jersey?
I'm from Jersey, New York City area, so I missed a lot of my friends and family and all that. I was like,
how old were you?
What? How old was I? In
Okay,
2004?
let's not do that. Don't ask.
I was like 20 something, but yeah, it was a while ago. So young 20s, but yeah, like the first year I was like, I don't know about this city. On the second,
it's not built on rock and roll.
I'm like, well, yeah, right. I'm like, maybe I'll stay, but now I'm like, oh my, I'll probably never leave.
Oh my God, I used to go to the Roxy. I mean, my whole life has been pretty much Los Angeles, Paris, and that's it. Yeah. Los Angeles, Paris, but mostly Los Angeles. And I can tell you a million stories about all that. You know that. What's that musical? With talking musicals, the one that
Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages. It was about the Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally relate
and they made
to
that movie.
Yeah, with Tom Cruise, which was horrible. Talk about Scientology.
Yeah. It's coming full circle. We knew we'd get this conversation back on track.
It'll go full circle when I tell you that I knew Tom Cruise when right after he did Risky Business.
Okay.
And before he did Legends of some fairy movie.
Okay.
And he was short. Well, I thought
think he's still short.
Oh, he's still short. I thought I worked for his business manager, so I had to read Tom contracts because Tom is dyslexic, right? And I would have to sit in the room and read this guy his contract, right? And then he became like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Which is kind of weird, but but he was really fat, crooked teeth.
Of all the celebrities I've interviewed, I don't think I've ever really just seen him on a red carpet. He doesn't really.
Have you ever
He does
seen
his
him in
big
person?
red carpets, but I was going to say, but I worked in production. I worked on War of the Worlds, so I saw him every day on that.
Yeah.
And Spielberg, and that was really cool. It's a Dakota Fanning. That was a cool experience, but he was already
this
Tom
is when
Cruise.
He was really young. He was Tom Cruise, but nobody really knew who he was.
Yeah.
Okay, so
he was already big Tom Cruise.
I came into the office one day, and all of the girls are saying, because I work for the boss, right? And all of the girls are going, oh my God, Tom Cruise. And I'm going, what is going on? And then my boss calls me and he says, okay, Tom Cruise is coming in. And I said, who? And he goes, only the biggest. This is before there was any like. This is when this is when you could still curse at your employee.
Oh, okay.
So Lloyd says to me, he's only the biggest fucking guy in entertainment, hottest guy in the world right now, Tom Cruise. And I went, okay. And then he walks in, like an hour later.
Yeah.
And he's not.
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of actors are.
He wasn't, but that's when I was in my 20s. So I'm 60. I am 60, Jennifer. I tell you that every time I see you. She never believes me.
Believe you.
So you can imagine I was in my late 20s or my mid 20s, early 20s actually. So that was a long time ago. He was a kid.
A lot of actors too, though, when you meet them, like most of them are a lot shorter, like smaller, like just smaller people than you think they're going to be when you see them on screen.
They're
mostly shorter.
Tall people don't
skinnier,
do good on
I mean, there's a few tall.
Ask
Like,
Eric
there's like
Dane,
Vince
Tom
Vaughn and stuff, but
Selleck,
like
Vince Vaughn,
most
right.
of the the men are very tiny. Like they're tiny people when you interview them, and the women are even tinier. And they need to be because they're next to each other on screen. So it's an interesting thing.
Tom Selleck, they used to have to, and John Wayne, they used to have to dig a hole.
Yeah.
So they would walk along the, no, you don't want a big actor. You don't want a really tall actor. And this, it's interesting because a lot of times I won't notice people who are actors because I don't have an affinity for short guys, so I'm not really looking at these short men that are standing next to me that could be anybody really famous.
Funny. Yeah.
Right? I mean, think about that, So anyway, all right. So let's go. What do you think is the hottest ticket coming up?
That was vague. No,
as far as
music or like movies or Suicide Squad.
You were just at NBC. Have you watched 12 Monkeys at all?
No,
you haven't. What do you watch?
I love that show Unreal right now on Lifetime.
Oh, I haven't watched it. And everybody tells me about it all the time.
If you're into like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, it's like a scripted show.
Yeah.
Of kind of what goes on.
She was here. Who's on that show? She was here one night.
Sherry Appleby.
The other one. Mandy?
Oh no. Now I'm blanking, but
I
know who you're talking about.
Maybe it was her.
I love the show, and maybe it's because I worked in reality TV for a while as well, so I kind of. It's a heightened version of the crazy stuff that goes on, but crazy stuff does go on. So it's really, for me, I love watching that show. So I'm watching that.
What do you think of JoJo picking? What's his name? I did not
watch
The Bachelor.
Of The Bachelor.
I stopped
watching a few seasons ago.
I watched the final rose last night.
It's a good guilty pleasure, but I haven't seen. I don't even know what's going on with them.
Oh, it's because I had two glasses of wine, and I was like, my husband was like, doing something else, and I thought I didn't watch the season at all, and I don't really.
I watch.
I can't stand that guy that is the host. I mean, this is all his life is about.
Chris Harrison has made millions of dollars as the host. He is like maybe the smartest man, but he works as probably as much as like Seacrest almost. I mean, Seacrest works the most, and Carson Daly works a lot, but Chris Harrison's all over the place.
He works a lot too.
Because they got The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and then they have that
Paradise.
They have all the spin-off shows now, and like Behind the Secret Rules. I don't know. Like they're gonna just keep coming up with things. But do you think
reality TV is on its way out?
No, because I think people are just always wanting to like peer behind the curtain a little bit. I think maybe it's cooled off a little bit, but people are always gonna watch reality TV. It'll just morph. Like I think because new media is so big. I mean, like YouTube and new media, it's sort of a different form
of a digital thing. I don't think TV. I mean,
everything's going to go streaming pretty soon. Like, yes. I mean, if you look now, like the cable. I actually work on a couple clients.
We're streaming right now on Facebook.
Yeah, and the cable companies, there's that whole right now, like the FCC has. Now we're getting real technical about the industry, but the FCC has the whole cut the cord debate going on about wanting cable companies to unlock your set-top box and. They have to find ways to compete with like Roku and Amazon TV and
television
Apple TV.
Does.
Yeah,
network television.
Yeah, so instead of having the cable boxes, instead of having your cable box anymore, people are using other ways of streaming.
Absolutely.
So now these cable companies like Comcast and C Spire and Verizon,
but you still need them for Wi-Fi.
But at some point, like what's happening is they're going to have their own app streaming version that's going to be available. You're going to be able to get Time Warner app on your
I can get
Apple
that already.
TV. I'm just saying, like everything is going to that way. Like you won't even need right now the infrastructure of like old school cable is if they got rid of all the cable boxes in everyone's house, they would be losing so much money and they would be laying off a lot of people who put. But at some point, it's going to be like, do you remember like when I talk to young kids, they have no idea what I'm talking about. If I talk about like having a VCR and setting it to watch like 90210 and like tape when I get home, they're like, what are you talking about?
I had the first TiVo.
At some point, there's going to be like our kids are not going to understand what it means to have like a white cable run.
But they're not going to need
run
to
into your house with a cable box.
But
they won't need that.
To.
No, they'll be watching. You'll just be streaming it. And
we really don't need to have that right now.
It's going out. I mean, everything's going out.
Right. Exactly. I'm getting hot. We got to cut to commercial, so we're going to be right back. We'll be back in about a minute and something. Jarvis will correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, we'll be right back after this message.
In mountain climbing, as in business, an expert who knows the terrain can help you minimize risk and increase your chance of success. In the business of direct response TV advertising, Direct Avenue delivers clients to new heights of success because we're much more than a TV media buyer.
The thing that sets Direct Avenue apart from the other agencies out there are the people of Direct Avenue. They come in and they really enjoy what they do. They work hard at it, and seeing the clients become very successful because of the hard work that they put in is amazing.
With Direct Avenue, expect to receive expert planning, brand building, analysis, and management of short-form DRTV ad campaigns. With Direct Avenue, expect ad tracking and ROI optimization tools, including TIP, our top-down investment process tool, which gives advertisers greater insight into the behavior of media targets so the right media is selected for every campaign. POP, our pre-optimization process tool, ensures your media clearance and spending goals are met. With PAR, Predictive Analytics Review, you'll receive reports designed to assist all marketing partners in the optimization of your campaign. And you can expect high-definition reporting with HDR. HDR includes interactive mobile-ready dashboards with detailed insight into each campaign. As a Direct Avenue client, you can expect the full-service resources and the ad buying power of a big agency. But you can also expect the flexibility of a boutique agency, an agency that will adapt a TV ad campaign to meet the particular needs of your company.
The key to our success is making sure that we're hands-on. Every single client-facing individual is senior level, so you get a hands-on experience every single day with every single client.
For a free analysis of your current DRTV spending plan, give us a call at 760-579-4210. We'll prove our expertise by showing you precisely how you'll receive a greater ROI with Direct Avenue as your partner. With Direct Avenue, expect more. For more information, visit directavenue.com.
In an average lifetime, 1,500,000 minutes are spent on the toilet. That's crazy. Well, go time just got easier. Introducing Easy Go Pro, the only way to go. You just sit, lift, and go in a natural position. When not in use, it slides easily out of the way. Come on, be a healthy goer. Easy Go Pro is simple, safe, and it works. Go time just got easier at EasyGoPro.com.
Hey everybody, we are back, and we're back. This is C-Spot Talk Marketing Unfiltered, where we rarely talk marketing, but we are going to talk marketing. In this segment, I'm here with Jennifer Buonantony, and she is. You are so many things, by the way. I have to say, you are.
I think I might have too many things going on. Too many slashes in my.
No, I don't think so. I think it was kind of awesome.
I like it.
You know, because you're. How does it go? Writer. You're a stand-up comic.
Well, okay, so I'm a CEO first because I run Press Pass LA.
That's right.
And then I am a public relations and social media expert. Yes. So I do consulting for brands and creative projects. And then on my own, I'm talent, but that kind of breaks out as talent. I do hosting, I do stand-up comedy, I write scripts, and I'm an actor. So I do a lot of things in the talent and those all overlap. But
I wanted to say, you don't watch the show every time, but we mention you every show. I've told you that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's great. And one show I mentioned you. We're gonna talk about social media and. Because I do a lot of social media. I do a lot of social media for my Easy Go Pro toilet stool, but I also do it for other companies. But we're going to talk about that in a minute because you do social media also. But I want to talk about being a stand-up comic. Sure. So when I met Jennifer, I learned that she also does stand-up comedy, and I have gone to see Jennifer twice now, right? and I said that I have always had like this inner little desire because I worked for Club Med and I've done a lot of stuff on stage and a live audience, obviously, and live for me and a live audience is what I really thrive on. I love that. And
it's the instant feedback.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. And then you said that you also don't prepare for what you're going to do, or you somewhat prepare, but don't prepare a lot. And I said, I don't prepare either. Like if I'm going to speak to people, I don't prepare either, you know? And so then
people take that the wrong way. They think like, then they're going to take it seriously, but it just, different people have different processes.
You have different processes. Yeah. It's like, so I said, that's something that I would want to do one day just to test my skills. Yeah, right. And so I've seen you twice now. And the last time I went to see you at the Comedy Store, right? We were talking about this in the last show. I was telling John about it. I said, I would do it, but I was so like taken aback. God, I thought it was so. I said, Jennifer was like, I had to watch like 10 people before I got to Jennifer, and Jennifer was great because you talked about Paul from Mama Guard, and but everybody I said I don't want to be that person that goes up and does this shtick about how old I am.
But you don't have to. You can do whatever.
You can do whatever you want. But I said it was just so like, for me, I was watching everybody, and anybody that was over 45 or 50 was doing a shtick on how old they were. Yeah. And how they're, it's like, God, stop.
I mean, I'm not an expert, but for me in stand-up, like, I have to talk about things that are real for me in my day-to-day life. Like, I generally get up and tell, like, I have a lot of
Well, I'm sure it's real for them, but it's
weird
like,
shit
really?
that happens to me. So I talk about whatever's going on. Yeah. So that might be what's going on for them, but
No, I
you
think
have to talk about what's going on for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody was like,
but there's a lot of like female comics who have their own shtick too that are younger. Like a lot of, I'll put it out there. Like I've only been doing stand up about a year and a half, but I've been doing comedy a long time in terms of writing and acting. But when I got into the stand up world, I noticed that most of the female stand ups fall into like one of two categories. They're either lesbians who are talking about lesbian jokes. Like there's a lot of that, which is fine. Like that's real for them, but there's like a category of female lesbian comics who talk about that. And then I feel like the straight female comics tend to do a lot of the shock value. Like I'm going to talk about dating and sex and potty humor like I'm a dude. I'm going to talk about how many guys I
use the F word all the time.
So it's a very weird, like there's these two groups of women comics that at least that I've noticed.
You're on the inside of it.
I'm not doing either of those things.
No, you're not.
So I don't know if that's good or bad. But
by the way, thank you.
Well, I mean, number one, I don't want my mom to hear about my sex life. And number two, I'm not saying I never talk about my personal life, but
I couldn't take it.
It's just not me.
You were refreshing. You got up there and you just.
I do talk about IBS, but
it doesn't matter.
No, but I talk about things that are real for me. Like people will put, and I'm not judging anyone, but I personally don't need to get up and drop like 100 curse words and say things that are disgusting.
Like I know I'm old, and what's your problem over there, but I know
there's a lot of jokes about
and then it's just like
vaginas. Let's put it out there.
Can we talk about something other than sex? Use the F word every other word. So if I was to do it, I would definitely hope I would not be the girl that gets up there and just.
But you probably talk about like you host a radio show. You do so. Okay, we're talking about marketing.
I know exactly what I was talking
about. But you have to market yourself as a stand-up. Like you're marketing yourself. You are the product. So what do you?
Well, I am the product of my show though too.
But even in your stand-up, what do you represent? That's what you're going to talk about.
No, I have a whole take on. I have a whole take that I would love to share on a lot of things.
So
none of them have to do with sex, and it doesn't have to do. You know what was really awesome was Jason Bourne, the new Jason Bourne movie. It doesn't have one reference to sex, kissing, nothing.
People are mad about the guns. People find something wrong with everything.
Oh, you're kidding. It was such a great movie.
I haven't seen it. I want to see it.
It just keeps you, it's like the car chases galore.
Yeah.
Car chases in social media.
But you can have different personas, like, because I have my work persona, and then I have people say, oh, you're so different in your stand-up, but it's a different, I'm marketing a different thing.
I don't think so.
Well, that's good to know.
I don't think so.
But you also know me.
Yeah, I know you. I know you. I think you're so natural in your stand-up that it's organic, and it's what you're, and the thing about your what do you call it?
Or whatever it is. My
your
sets,
shtick, your set, your whatever, is you always, I think you know where you're going with your button. Mm-hmm. That you're going to button it at one point. And you do that really well. I've seen it twice.
Thank you.
The first time you did it with your IBS statement, your boyfriend or new boyfriend or something like that, and the second time it had to do with like
people on social media. Yeah,
but I know exactly what you were talking about. That
but I tend to not really plan too much, but I like to have a mental outline in my head, like
a topic,
a story,
a through line,
beginning, middle, end, and this I'm going to start here and I'm going to take you here and that's it, and I'm going to touch on these 5 things, and then it's just whatever comes out of my mouth.
I think it's awesome. So I really admire you and respect you for doing that, and I always support people that I really admire. August
26th, maybe August 13th too, but I'm doing a taping August 11th, which no one can come to, but I'm doing a comedy taping. And I'll have that video that will go up. And then I'm doing possibly a show on the 13th and definitely a show on the 26th.
What do you mean a video that'll go up?
There's a comedy company that wants me to put my routine on tape, which I am going to do because it's just good to have it. But it's weird because there's no audience. So they have like other comics, and you can invite a few people to sit in, but that's a little bit weird.
That would be so
it's
weird.
Tougher
it's like
because
when
you have
I
no
do
one
the show and I have to talk to the ring light.
You have no one to react off of. So I'm interested to see, but it's good to have a professional taping because like I do the main room at the Comedy Store. You're not allowed to tape it, so I don't have a video of me,
doing your stand up.
Not since I first started. Yeah.
And is it going to be longer than your normal stand up?
I think it's just gonna be 8-minute set.
Okay.
Usually I do anywhere between usually 6 to 8 minutes.
Well, all right. Let's talk social media.
All right.
So both Jennifer and I, through my company C-Spot Run Social or C-Spot Run, I do social media, and I primarily do a lot of social media. But I've been dealing with direct to people for 20 years, right? So to me, I think of social media as just that way that you connect directly with the consumer, with the people, which is awesome. And Jennifer does social media also for.
So for my site, for Press Pass LA, I do.
She's got the microphone
It's like in my chin here. Just chilling out there. I do social media for Press Pass LA, so that's kind of for our own brand, my own brand. But then I also do social media for.
So let's explain social
maybe
media.
10 different clients. Not right now 10, but I've up to 10 at one point.
So explain, if somebody was to say, well, what is social media? How do you define
social media is how a brand presents themselves. Like the difference between public relations and social media, like public relations is what the industry are saying about you, the press that's getting written about you, and you can control that to an extent. But with social media, that's like what you're putting out to the world, and that's how you communicate directly to your consumer, whether it's someone that purchases something, whether they're purchasing a product or they're buying into you and your idea, if you're talent, if you're an actor, if you're a musician or music, whatever it might be. So it's kind of your...
Okay, so this is my definition of social media. Social media, for those people that are curious about social media basically, I think, is pretty black and white. It's Twitter, it's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's Snapchat.
Those are platforms.
Those are the platforms. But that is social media. Now, how you use those platforms is really what social media is.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you think the difference is between, I do a lot of things on Twitter. I do it for my toilet stool mostly. And I do it for my radio show. But, and I've done it for many clients. But social media has really changed in the past year. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Facebook, I have my Facebook account back. And so I have four clients on that.
Okay.
That has dramatically changed if you do any paid Facebook
You have to pay, or you might as well not be on Facebook.
Well, but 6 months ago, remember I lost my Facebook account, right? Well, in September of 2015, I could spend $80 and get 13,000 likes.
And now, no way.
Now, no freaking way.
Not
and
a
it's
chance.
not even a year later.
Well, Facebook keeps changing the algorithm. They always change the algorithm. But the thing is
I think it's because also brands have come in and brands are starting to throw a lot of money at Facebook.
Yeah.
If you read the articles
For
about
sure.
Facebook's ad revenue just going to be like $2.5 billion and expanding by
they've made it so you can really target and micro target.
But you can't. Not anymore. Why? Because you can't. You can.
Yeah.
You can't afford to
But
do
you
it
can't
anymore.
afford to do it. Yeah.
You could last year, but you can't afford it anymore.
Facebook is a tough one. It's very tough because I feel like
it's totally
when I have
necessary,
clients, I
though.
feel like you have to have it because it's like your home base. Because if someone,
like your website.
If someone looks you up, on Facebook, it's like that you don't exist.
Yeah.
But
it's like your website.
Excuse me. If you
I don't think you need a website anymore.
But the thing is, if you're not putting money behind it, you put out a post, maybe 2% of your audience. So if you have 500 fans, maybe 2% of them are seeing it. If you're not promoting it,
you have to promote it. You have to pay.
Otherwise, you see like, oh, you got 10 likes, and you're like, I have 1,000 fans. I don't get it. You have to pay. And
you have to pay.
Unfortunately, a lot of brands,
and now you have to pay a lot. I mean, last year you didn't. I was in shock.
And a lot of brands and talent.
I said, fuck it, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, well, if you're a big brand, it's fine because you can afford it and you kind of understand.
Well, Easy Go Pro is what we call a craft band.
Yeah,
craft band. It's not a big brand. It's not a small brand. It's a medium-sized brand.
You understand marketing, so you kind of understand the value. But what happens is a lot of like smaller brands, if they hire someone like you or me, they're going to pay a retainer of our services, and for them, that's probably a lot.
Plus a marketing budget.
That's probably a lot of money, plus the marketing budget that they have to put behind the post. And what usually happens is for brands that aren't either really well invested or already revenue cash positive, that's so much money, and then they don't see the results that they expect because they're like, well, I'm spending X, Y, Z on the retainer, But if you're only giving me a $500 marketing budget, you're probably not going to see the results that you want.
Yeah, I used to be
turn
able
down
to make
a lot
that,
of clients now because
make that
I
work,
can't,
but not anymore.
I know I can give them what they need, and it's going to be more of a headache for me than a positive.
Yeah, because you can't make it work anymore.
Yeah, but big brands, on the flip side, I've worked with big brands who are like, here's $100,000, throw it wherever, and they don't really know what they're doing either.
But that's what's causing the smaller brands, Jennifer,
to die
to
out.
not be able to use Facebook because
Totally.
Facebook is getting all of this ad revenue that's coming in.
I mean, the thing
and
is,
it's just pushing. It's face. If people could understand, and you have to go see Jason Bourne. If people could understand what the Facebook really is about, it's only about ad revenue, right? I mean,
all these platforms at the end of the day, they're businesses and their goal is to make money, which is why, like, if you look at even the newest, I wouldn't say the newest now.
Yeah, but when they become integrated in such a part of your life and they're woven into your life, and now you know what the big announcement
if you're using
today.
Facebook for friends and family, you're fine. But if you're using it as a business,
no, of course. But there's all different ways to use Facebook. There's we often talk about the Host in LA group page, which is really awesome because it's a great group and things come through. That's how I met you, and all of that stuff.
To me, it's becoming more of a news feed. And now they're they're doing weird things. I don't want to say weird things, but there's different ways for media now, and me as media and as a publisher, and there's different ways that is coming up. But I get my news now. I get my news from Facebook generally. Like occasionally I go to Google News, but I see things
I get
now
my
based
news from
on
Twitter.
people who are sharing. It depends on who your friends are, but like I'm always seeing news on Facebook. Now I think it depends. Like for me,
I get it in my email because I only read certain things. Well, but Twitter is where I get more of my news.
Like you mentioned to me, like everyone has to have a Facebook, a Twitter, and Instagram. Like there's no way around that. But certain platforms are better for certain types of brands than others. Like if you're a food blogger, mommy blogger, like you should totally be on Pinterest. Right. But if you're not, you do not need Pinterest. Like we had a Pinterest at one point, which I haven't even touched it. We don't use Pinterest. And then there's Snapchat is a big one with the
millennials and young millennials,
and they hadn't figured it out for a while, but now they're starting to really figure it out. If you notice,
and then ads are going to be popping up. They're
not doing it in the pop up way, but they're doing it in the
feed.
It
just comes in your feed.
Yeah, but for Ghostbusters, right? Like there was that thing where you could put Slimer next to your, but that was
product placement.
Yeah, there's it's product placement. Like a lot of those, cool
it's just the fundamentals of
virtual
television,
reality type things are branded now.
Yeah.
So all of these
product placement
platforms are finding a way to monetize as they need to because they're companies, and it's just the effects that it has on the brand.
What do you think of Dollar Shave Club being sold for $1 billion?
This is crazy, and it's amazing what that guy did.
He didn't do anything. So 4 years ago, I was at a CMO for Ad Age.
He did nothing.
I swear to God, and
he might beg to differ, but yeah.
This guy, so he's up there and he's talking. It's when he was brand new, and he's talking, and so I get up and I raise my hand and I have a question for him, and I said, "So tell me, Mr. Whatever his name is." I said, "What's your attrition rate? Meaning, what's your fall off rate for your monthly subscription?" And he said to me, "What is attrition rate?" And then I said, "Why don't you make razors for females and women? Because you know what? We shave more of our body than men shave of their body, right?" And he says, "Well, we're talking about that, And then I saw him after, and I said, "Why don't you do television advertising?" Right? And he said, "I can't afford that." And I said, "Sure you can. Let me give you my card." And I didn't have a card. I was out of
missed
cards.
Opportunity. Well,
So,
but you could get in touch with him. Yeah.
No, his ego wouldn't allow that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, even back then, 4 years ago, he had an ego. But regardless...
He basically had a video that went viral, and that really kind of changed things. It was a game changer.
His concept is great.
Yeah.
He has razors that, he does all of that stuff. But he has a great mailing list now. And what people bought, what Unilever bought was the mailing list of these people. They didn't buy the product or anything like that. What stops them from going out and making a razor that you send in the mail every month, right? They can do that. They bought the mailing list. They bought the penetration.
The user base,
They bought the user base. They bought the customer base. But for two? Was it 1 or 2 billion?
I thought it was like 4, but I could be wrong.
No.
Maybe it was 2 billion.
It was maybe 2.
I just read something.
Billion.
This is crazy. I just read, what was it? Tesla. I mean, I'm always reading this news, but Tesla just bought Solar City because. I think that one was 4 billion, but Tesla's, they make
I'm just hoping
cars,
someday
but now
somebody wants to buy a toilet
products.
stool company called Easy Go Pro for $2 billion.
Why not, right? You never know.
Why wouldn't they?
It's interesting to see these sort of You know, when you talk about marketing, like we're marketing ourselves in media, and you see media companies get bought, you know, all the time. You see the growth of media companies like BuzzFeed, who just a few years ago was a small company and is now massive. You know what I mean? You see the growth of, like, think about Netflix and Hulu and like all of these companies, like less than 5 years ago, a decade ago, they were very small and now they're massive. So it's a lot of this has to do with technology, marketing, advertising.
90s,
yeah.
You know, when we had the huge dot-com bust
Mm-hmm.
and all of that stuff, because all of this technology has always been around. I mean, I've been in that mix for a long time. I remember the first video that, you know, kind of somebody sent and said, look, we can put videos online.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, but it looks like shit, you know?
Yeah.
And
Well, and it's that progression. It's like, I've been to a lot of tech conferences lately, and everyone is talking about, you know, there's streaming, there's 360, and then there's the VR. But like VR isn't practical right now because it doesn't look that good, and people don't have the sets. But eventually,
then there's Pokemon, which is AR, augmented reality.
Yeah, which is a big thing too.
Right.
It's interesting to see the, you know, who knows.
I went out here.
It might all go the other way in 20 years. Nobody give a crap about any of this.
I really don't know. All I know is that because all my business is online, right?
Mm-hmm.
I sell a lot of toilet stools. Let's face it, and
I love it.
I do. And then I do a lot of, and I have so much fun doing the social media with it because I can create all of these really fun things, you know. And I'm creating those things because Canva.com allows me to be able to make these really fun. I can be creative and do all of the artwork, and it's so simple and so easy.
Yeah.
Where I used to have to hire a graphic artist and then have to tell them what I'm thinking, you know.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like bing, bang, boom. I just have this like pool of stuff I think of, and then I create it. And if I went to my gyrotonics today, and my friend Stacy hands me her card, and her card is like, shit, man, no wonder, you know, it's just ugly, you know. So I went home and then like 10 minutes I created a name for her company, the Zim Method.
Okay.
You know, because she does gyrotonics and Pilates.
Okay.
She has a
I have no idea what gyrotronics is.
It's this amazing machine. It's like it's this amazing thing, right? And she's in Playa Vista, which is right by 1 block away from YouTube, Facebook, everything's in Playa Vista, and you know she does it out of her home. So she's kind of like she has no freaking marketing.
Okay.
I went home and within 30 minutes I sent her back something where I had her positioned. I gave her a name. I gave her a reason for being, you know, working out of her bedroom. I said, you are
you gave her branding
personal
and PR
and
advice
private and you know, the heads of the people over there that are working, you know, they know that they can come to this really private place where their business isn't going to be seen. You know, I positioned her.
Yeah.
And she was like,
oh yeah.
Oh my God. Before that, she was just Stacy with a machine.
We have clients all the time. I mean, we have a client that has I have 2 clients today. I got a TechCrunch interview and a Forbes interview, one for one client, one for the other, both this week. And then they had
you need to get me an interview.
Well, they had concerns about, you know, am I ready for this or what do I say? And it's just about, you know, giving them the confidence and positioning them. And basically you need your branding and your messaging, and then you shoot that out and you make sure that that's what's printed. I mean, that's kind of how PR and social media and all of that work together. And PR and social media work very closely hand in hand. I work on most accounts. I like to work on PR and social if I can, because it's hard to work on. I mean, I take clients that are one or the other, but for me, it's like
I think they get confused. I think people get confused because I think that social media and PR is almost really blending together.
They have to work together.
Yeah,
they're not the same thing, but they're very close, and they have to work together. So if they don't have to be the same person, but those people better understand each other's what they're doing.
Well, we need to talk about you helping me get more, because I'm too busy. You're like, I can't do everything, and I cannot.
I feel that.
I cannot be the person that calls up and says, "Hey, do you want to interview me?"
Yeah.
Right. So I have to have that person in between.
You need a PR person.
I need a PR person, and I need a PR person for me as an individual, as a brand,
tough.
and my company.
You can't really do your own PR. I mean, like I do a lot of interviews, but I try not to. I end up doing my own PR a lot. You know, like when I book other interviews, obviously we're friends, I'm here, but there's other interviews I book that I do speaking engagements. But it is weird sometimes when you pitch yourself, and it takes a lot of time. People don't ever pitch myself. Assess like how much time social media and PR take. There's such a huge
social media is like, and you know what? You have to be consistent. You can't be there and not be there.
I've had clients who are like, "Oh, we want to pay for September," and then go off for 2 months, and then come back in November. I'm like, "See ya," because that's not how it works, and I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah, you have to be consistent. You have to build because people kind of look to you. You know, they want to see what's up with. You know, because I post some really interesting articles for Easy Go Pro. Yeah. You know, that's really what I focus on. Right.
I find the hardest thing for me is my own personal social media, like my name.
Me too.
I'm like, oh crap, I didn't post anything in a week because I'm posting 20 other accounts, you know, like my business and the businesses that I'm working with.
If I say, if I could only do this for myself.
I say that all the time. And then I'm like, God, you know, people are come to my page and think like, this girl's a guru and she hasn't posted in a week. But I'm like, yeah, but if you saw the 20 accounts I just did today, like it's a funny thing because you get, you know, hey, you're not paying yourself, right? So that's what I know. You have to think of yourself as a client.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Do.
Yeah,
you do. So, okay. JenniferBuonantony.com, right, is where we find you for your hosting
for talent stuff.
Like, which I actually really like your website because it's simple and it's clear, and I love the pictures you use of yourself.
2 years old, but I was thinking
it doesn't matter. You
don't
have to tell the world that.
No, I'm just saying. You asked me before, and the thing is, like, if you pick. Like I picked a clean style that I knew would be fine for 2 years without updating
you look
it.
Great. I think you look great. And then PressPassLA.com for everything that's happening in.
And you just update your videos. Like I update my videos. You know?
Well, I update myself. Everything for me. We have our YouTube channel, so I have everything on YouTube.
And PressPassLA.com though, like you said, like I update that platform. I mean, we've been 5 years this Friday.
That's an awesome,
and I update
awesome
that
site.
one. Almost every other year. Like we're doing a new skin on the site now. Like it'll be out in a couple months because you have to stay hip to what the users like.
And I started
it
to
changes
do that
a lot.
Yeah, and I started to do that actually for my C-Spot Run website that I have had for forever.
And to what Google approves and decides that you have to have.
Exactly. And I started to do it, and I actually spent $1,000 with these guys in India, and I did the whole thing. And I said, you know what, you guys, you know, I don't have time here. Here's the money. Go away, because they were bothering me.
How was
so
that?
Much.
Did it work out or no?
They said, well, you know, we're here for you when you are ready. But I'm just not ready. I have too much going on.
I had a couple of meetings with companies in Bangladesh and India, and like there's a lot of talent there in the tech field, and prices are cheaper. But I also always have that concern of like that giant outsourcing of being able to communicate in the time difference.
The communication thing, and I'm used to outsourcing. I've been outsourcing for many years, and the communication thing. It was, and then I started to think, you know, I'm picking the photos, I'm doing this, I'm writing the content, I'm doing all of that. Why am I paying these guys to do this stuff? And I didn't have the time for it. And I need to, my point is, I need to update my website.
Yeah.
Desperately update my website. And because you're right, you have to stay current with the look of what is acceptable online. But anyway, we got to wrap it up before.
We're done? Oh, that was fast.
We are. I know. It was really too fast. Anything coming up? August what?
August 26th, the Comedy Store main room. I'll be there and
on Sunset.
And then just check out at PressPassLA all our socials. There's stuff coming up every day. There's events every day.
And we do the same thing at C-Spot Talk. We're on Instagram now, so at C-Spot Talk, and you know, just whatever. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. I don't have an end card anymore because I got rid of that, and I will be changing my opening tune. Because Jennifer finally admitted, you need to change that tune. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you, Direct Avenue, for being our sponsor. Jennifer Buonantony, you are always welcome here. We love you. We do.
Careful what you wish for.
I know. Well, no, you know.
I'm like, hey guys, it's Tuesday. I'm back.
Well, we're here for you. But anyway, John Hamilton, we will see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, where are you, John?